Hello YouTube! Welcome to Herding Cats Part 2, the sequel. The Previa, driving it around, it's got a couple hundred miles on the next tank of gas after the lacquer thinner drive to Cheyenne, Wyoming and back. And I'd wrap the flex pipe with the leaks in it with 3 of those bands and put some wire on it to hold it. I'll show you a photo of what it originally looked like, there. And I'll show you a photo of what it looks like today, there. And now they're starting to already disintegrate. It's a little bit more airy. So we're taking it into Boulder Muffler. We are going to weld in a new flex pipe. But the other day I just for grins plugged in the OBD2 reader in the dash in the connector on the top of the dash in the fuse box. And it went to a green light on the emissions preview. So it hasn't done that in, I'd say, over a year. It's always been yellow. So yeah, positive things are happening. I think it's the flex pipe wrapping it up. It could also be the lacquer thinner running through the cats. I don't know exactly, but who knows? It is green. We're going to keep it that way. We're going to fix that flex
New
pipe.
development, YouTube. Can you hear this? Woo! That's coming from the exhaust pipe. I'm pretty sure that cat, this one right there, has a loose element in it. It's just vibrating around. Yeah. Whew, we did that the other day, but then it went away as the car warmed up and I drove down the road with a little bit more exhaust pressure. So we'll see what happens. All right, YouTube, check that out. We are on our way to Boulder Muffler. I think it probably has a loose element inside that cat, that front cat, the first one. Because as I revved it up, drove away, that noise went away. It was just sitting there while it was idling cold. So I think as it's heating up and getting some pressure, it's moving back into place. Something's up with that cat, not sure. But check this out. We have a green light on the OBD2 sensor. There it is, plugged in. We got our ABS light, no check engine lights, no codes. And we have a green light on the, which is really funny because it's not even warmed up yet. I think that just means that it doesn't have any codes stored in a set of cycle runs or something like that. But anyway, we are heading in. We're going to get this catalytic converter insufficient or inefficiency, whatever, efficiency below target threshold, whatever that P0420 code is. We are going in and we are going to get it done. We are on our way. I'm not looking at what you're looking at, so I had you point at my knee. Beautiful day in sunny Colorado, the last day of July. I'm going to give you a quick update. Here's what it sounds like if I open it up. I've got you plugged in. Let me unplug you. Hang on, gotta turn you around because you are looking out that camera. I'm looking out the window, so I can't really see what you're seeing. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on the road. I'm gonna put the camera back here and we'll give it up. We'll floor it. Yeah, my repair patch is failing within a week. All right, welcome back, YouTube. Quick update on Floki. We dropped it off at Boulder Muffler. It's actually 315 miles since I finished the whole lacquer thinner gas tank drive to Cheyenne. We did not go to New Mexico. We ended up doing a staycation and staying home. Had nothing to do with Floki. We did drive it up in the mountains one day. We drove up Coal Creek Canyon to Rawlinsville, all the way into the Moffett Tunnel, hung out in the forest up there, back through Nederland, did the Carousel of Happiness. I suggest you check it out. But yeah, it is at Boulder Muffler for a repair. Spoke to him real quick and he said some of the replacement cats that he's put in, which are EPA certified, aftermarket cats, they have lasted 15 years and still going strong. Just totally depends on the if the cars had misfiring issues or fuel flow, running rich or something like that. So if those things don't happen, they can last indefinitely.
It's testimonial time with Floki, the beloved 1994 Previa LESC AllTrack. Behind us, the unicorn. Love this thing. Almost 300,000 miles. We are at 290, 300 and something and change. Dropped it off on Monday to Boulder Muffler, hoping that I was just going to get a flex pipe because I knew it had holes in it. Quick, easy flex pipe repair. But when you heard that video, when I started it up, the rattle in the cat was really, really, really bad. Worst I'd ever heard it. So was crossing my fingers when I got there, and I got a phone call on, today is Wednesday, just picked it up from Boulder Muffler. And when I got the phone call yesterday, Tuesday, with an update on what it was a punch in the gut. So some additional information on that rattle in the exhaust. That was not the first time it had ever done it, but it was definitely the loudest it had ever been. It had been doing that for about a month, maybe 6, 8 weeks, 2 months maybe at the most. A light rattle when you would start the car in the morning or when it was cold, it would rattle a little bit. As soon as you put it in gear and gave it some load and some airflow through the exhaust, it would go away. So yeah, we didn't really think much about that, but it turns out the verdict on what was going on with Floki was a lot more than just a flex pipe. So it appears the first cat had actually plugged and started to disintegrate, and its debris had actually moved its way back into the second cat, downstream cat. So, even though it wasn't throwing inefficiency codes back then, it had started to have issues, and that back pressure under load had probably helped disintegrate that flex pipe. Even though that flex pipe is from 1994, it is, wow, that is 29 years ago. So it made it the longest of the cats and the muffler. So the flex pipe made it quite a bit, but it was much more than just a flex pipe replacement. Don't think the lacquer thinner caused any of this issue. It goes back much longer than that, and I wish I would have addressed this last summer. It would have helped out a lot, I think. But the lacquer thinner, I think it did clean out the cats what it could, and it made that rattle a lot worse as the gunk was moving out. That's why talking to Boulder Muffler, he mentioned that system 2 lean on these engines can cause the cat to disintegrate pretty quickly. And ironically, guess what we had in June of 2022, last summer, at 280,200 miles, so 10,000 miles ago, 10,100 miles ago, we had a P0171 System 2 lean. It was probably already sucking air through that flex pipe at that point. That code would clear and go away and not come back for a month, maybe more, 2 months. And then before a trip in July of 2022, I replaced the fuel cap, just trying to see. I've never done the seal around the fuel cap, so I just got a brand new fuel cap. It wasn't expensive from OEM Toyota at the dealership. And then in November, that code came back in October. In November, I actually replaced the fuel filter, and since then, November of last year, this is August. It's August 2nd, technically. November of last year, replaced the fuel filter, and there were no more P0171 System 2 lean codes. But the P0420 code was also jumping around in there. The first time we got that was I replaced the fuel filter in November. In October, a month before that, a few weeks before that, at 285,000 miles, we got the P0420 catalyst system efficiency below threshold, but we never got the system 2 lean anymore. We just got the efficiency below threshold. And also last summer, I think it was last July or August, we took Floki, the Previa, to the local Cars and Coffee, and it was the first time I ever heard it actually have that just rushing sound of air behind the passenger seat down below where the flex pipe's at, under full load, just accelerating away. And it was the first time I ever really heard that. So it was probably July of last year that it really blew a hole from back pressure out of the flex pipe. Talking to Jeff at Boulder Muffler, he thinks that the flex pipe was disintegrating because the back pressure was just too much. The front, as I mentioned, the front catalytic converter element had disintegrated, or was in the process of disintegrating, and had blocked the second one. So replacing the flex pipe, with the back pressure we would have had in the system, it would have blown that thing apart in weeks. So that's anyway. The backstory. Then came the call Tuesday morning. They had this thing up in the air. They'd cut the flex pipe out. They'd looked at it, told me the damage, what was going on with the catalytic converters. The cats that I'd put in 2015 at Boulder Muffler were EPA certified, but not CARB, because Colorado didn't have that yet. Those two cats with two O2 sensors and a section of tailpipe and the hangers, everything installed out the door, was $789. And that was in November of 2015, so almost 8 years ago. In March of last year, we had a hole in the muffler, and they replaced the muffler with an aftermarket muffler and a tailpipe section, and that was less than $300. That was $254. This estimate was by far the most expensive repair order we've ever had on Floki, and I honestly said, give me a minute, let me think about this, I'll call you right back. So I got off the phone, thought for a second, talked to Megan, gave her the price on the van. By far the most expensive single repair order ever performed. Ooh, there's a plane flying over. Yeah, there's a Boulder Airport right over there, so maybe that's a little bit noisy. I don't know how long that's been in the background. But anyway, we decided, what are we going to replace it with? What's going to fit in the garage, have that kind of versatility for camping adventures? We drove this thing up Mount Princeton, back roads like crazy. It's never been stuck in any snowstorm. It fits all of our art stuff. What else can we buy that will fit in the driveway, fit in the garage, haul all that stuff, and drive anywhere in Colorado's winter conditions? I don't know of anything. So the repair costs, we started thinking about it in less than 10 minutes. We were like, what else can we buy that can do all these things? And this repair is less than the cost of car payments for a year. Yeah, still a gut punch. I can still feel it. We fixed it. We installed new flex pipe, 2 catalytic converters that are carb rated, 5-year, 50,000 mile warranty. It's better for the environment. That's why Boulder looks so beautiful. I'm wearing my green shirt today because I gotta be honest, I don't want to be polluting the environment. I wish I would have done all this a year ago and saved myself. Did the lacquer thinner cause all this? Absolutely not. This was all happening a year ago, last summer. Should have handled it earlier. The lacquer thinner cleaned things up. That's why the rattle got worse, because things were able to move around in there. They weren't all gunked up and plugged. It kind of cleaned things out. But so your own risk if you want to do that on your car, but I don't think in this case with Floki at 300,000 miles, the lacquer thinner did anything to cause the problems. It was just the system was running too lean for the catalytic converters, the EPA certified ones, but not carb. So it just couldn't handle it, and it disintegrated it, and then over time plugged the system and then blew out the flex pipe. So the flex pipes on these I know are an Achilles heel. I do know that they rust out. That one was really bad. It had lost all of its webbing around it a long time ago. So yeah, I wish I would have handled it earlier, but do the lacquer thinner, post your results. I've followed plenty of stuff on the web. I've never seen anybody saying that it destroyed anything. The O2 sensors in there are still the originals. We did not replace them. They are working perfectly fine. The system is running much better. It drives smoother, sounds smoother. Under load, I'll put some pictures on here of what it looks like now. But yeah, Floki's good to go. 300,000 miles. Let's just hope the OEM head gasket doesn't blow out. I was told, what, 25,000 miles ago that was a ticking time bomb, and we're still going with it. So let's see what happens. All right, YouTube, final verdict. I'm not even going to share with you how expensive that was. By far the most expensive single repair we've ever done on the Previa. I think the most expensive one I saw in our repair history was like 1,500 bucks. Just gonna tell you it was more than that, but less than a year's worth of car payments, and there's nothing that we can replace this with that does the versatility that we have. So I'm gonna give it a flooring. I'm gonna put it back here so you can, I'm not looking at you, so I don't know what you're seeing, but listen to this. Full load. Nothing. No air loss, no pressures, back pressurization, air loss coming out of that exhaust pipe anywhere. It sounds so much smoother. All right, YouTube, look at that. A beautiful new flex pipe, new hanger, new Cat 1 with an OBD upstream and downstream. Those are the original OBD 2 sensors. A rear cat. That's our new system. It is pretty quiet. Sounds good. No rattles, and the exhaust just sounds nice and smooth. We are good to go. Herding cats complete. Be safe out there, YouTube. Right, have fun. Share this. This is Legion Park open space just east of Boulder. It's got the old Excel power plant, Valmont Reservoir, these old reservoirs. Looking north, out on the Boulder Creek drainage, come back around. That's Longs Peak, the big 14er right up there in the clouds. And they even have a little map here with a bunch of little flying ant bugs all over it, but it has each mountain. And here is, let's see if I can find it. Sawtooth, Mount Audubon. It doesn't actually show. Longs Peak, there it is, 14,255. Mount Audubon, 13.2. We've been up on the top of Arapahoe. Yeah, 13.5. All right, so come around. There's the open space. And then looking south, look at the clouds today. It's kind of stormy coming across. There's Louisville way up there. Look at how gorgeous Boulder County is. Absolutely stunning. So what exactly is a Previa worth? It's a 1994. It's coming up on its 30th birthday. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it. Got new fast runners. Got new tires on there this summer. It's rusting. It's got old repairs and it's got water spots. It's got a rust spot there. It's completely, the under part of that panel right there is gone. It doesn't leak yet, but it is gone. Rusting behind the thing. Paint's terrible. But it's the most amazing vehicle we've ever had. It drives anywhere. It's the best car in the snow we've ever had. It's all-time 50/50 all-wheel drive. It's because of the mid-engine, it's literally almost a perfect 50/50 weight balance. It's never been stuck. It's never had heavy-duty tires on it. It pulls everyone out in our neighborhood when they get stuck. I can drive anywhere with this thing. We can, the roof rails were taken off and we can put on a Yakima rack with a roof box when we go camping adventure. It opens up in the back. It's got the swivel seats. I'll open it up. Look at this thing. The interior fabric at 300,000 miles is still holding up. It's got stains, but that's just from us spilling coffee. Most of that's us. We can clean that out with a carpet steamer cleaner. It's got dual captain's chairs and they swivel. Check this out. They swivel. You can face back to the people in the back, although that will make you sick really fast driving down the road. It's got a back seat that completely folds up in two halves and sits against the back windows. It opens up and stores so much stuff, and it fits in the garage without the roof box. It just fits in. Look at this. Those seats fold up and it goes all the way up. We can get so much in here. We got gap between it when we have to go to art festivals and we need the full tent and all of the walls. I just fold the seats up in the back row, take the 4 bolts each on the middle seats, take them out completely, set them in the garage, and we have basically a really nice cargo van. This thing goes anywhere. It's our adventure van, the art van, travels all over the place. It just goes.